If you're new to this channel and don't know me, I'm Dr. Priya, PhD in biotechnology, academician by profession, moved to Australia as a skilled migrant in 2016, got my permanent residency, filing for my citizenship this year. And this channel is all about educating and making people aware of the different types of visas and process them without getting scammed by spending thousands and lakhs of rupees. So make sure to hit the subscribe and turn the notifications on to be instantly notified of the new videos. Without much delay, let's get on to today's video. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this live Q&A. So I have a few people here. Thank you so much for coming, and you can post your comments in the comment below. So I have someone who has asked about zero investment online businesses, real or fake. There are real businesses if you are passionate about it. So if you're putting in that complete effort, so that is without investment, your passion, your hunger, so that is real. But if somebody is saying $0, you need not spend any money and tomorrow you'll be a millionaire by just cut, copy, paste or data entry work, that is fake. Okay, so if anything, whatever they say is going to be in one night, in 1 week or 1 day, all this Bitcoin scams that is going on right now and all these fake currencies, so all those get rich quick, anything that has immediate results and too good to be true are kind of fake. So online businesses, zero investment, you all must be aware that I posted a video and I also circulated an ebook that has 10 business ideas that you can start with $0. So there I have not given you any lies, and I'm not faking. So the idea of that particular ebook was to give you an idea of every single simple thing that you can start from home without major investment. Okay, so I had thrown light on 10 different business ideas that anyone could do. So online tutoring, people will think it's all about subject tutoring, but it's not that. So whatever skills you've got, if you're going to transfer it, so that is what I call as online tutoring or online coaching. So there are different things that you can do with zero investment by just using Facebook, like I've mentioned all the time. All these social media profiles today are very, very useful to reach your right audience easily. So it is true, if you are investing your time and efforts and passion, it is fake if someone else is promising you get rich quick in one night. Okay, or you just become a millionaire in 10 days. I'm surprised when I do so many, when I see all these posts, how to make 6 figures, 7 figures online. I'll be so tempted to type, can you show me your 6-figure income? Can you show me your bank statement? So if somebody is telling something, now I am teaching about Australian immigration and I am consulting people for Australian immigration for the simple reason I did the whole process for myself. And after moving here, I've done for so many friends and family and clients. Okay, so I've got the expertise and I'm teaching. If I don't have that expertise, and if I'm sitting in India and I keep telling people, you migrate to Australia, they'll be like, why are you not migrating? Unless I'm working for a company which is providing that service, it will not make sense. Okay, so before you invest in someone, before you really invest your money in some business idea, make sure you validate and authenticate whether they have achieved that result in the first instance. So if they are eligible to train you and teach you for that. Okay, so that is my answer for that question, if it is real or fake. So it depends on the kind of business you take, kind of people you reach out, and what are the promises. If they are promising castles in the air, don't go for it. Okay, so Fatima's question about home-based work through online. So home-based work is very generic. So anything related to home-based, I would say, depends on your credentials. So what you have studied, what you have already done as your work experience, or if you have an expertise or a passion that you want to teach someone. Like I said, I'm not sure, Fatima, if you had a chance to review my ebook that I circulated, 10 business ideas. Though your idea might not be exactly there, it will give you an idea of how a simple thing, like if you're good in makeup, if you're good in hairstyling, if you're good in organizing a house, decluttering a home, even that is a major thing now. I was looking at interior designers last week, and I found a special category called property stylist. So they are people who will hire furnitures or who will consult and tell you where to buy that furniture for that room with a particular theme. They will style your property with some nice flowers and stuff like that. So it is a huge thing. I was not sure. So I only knew about interior designer, interior consultant. But today in this digital age, there are so many newer options and trends that has come up with the current trends. Okay, so whatever is your skills and expertise, you can definitely make money out of it, do it as a business. But as I said, it's not going to be an overnight success. You cannot do it in one day, but consistently through social media, when you change your profile, when you show people what you do, that's when people will reach out to you, and that's how you start building your own social portfolio, and you can start making money out of it. So it is a very slow process. So you plan and you do it. So I'm happy to get on a one-on-one call with you to discuss further. So the idea of this Q&A session is just to interact, because in the Telegram group there's not much interaction between us. So I thought this will be a good platform for us to break that ice and have a generic discussion, and then we will get on a one-on-one call for your specific scenario. Okay, so if that sounds good, give it a thumbs up. Next is, okay, so someone has said about immigration also. And okay, so age 44 is a concern, whoever has asked, because the age is 45 is the maximum for immigration, and because of the coronavirus travel ban, they have completely stopped considering the offshore applicants. They are focusing everything about the onshore, like people who are here, who are applying for extension, people who are on 489, who are applying for PR, citizenship, partner visa, student visas. So they are doing all of that. So if you are 44 now, if you get your skill assessment done, you put your expression of interest in the pool, and when you get an invitation, if you have crossed 45, then you will not be eligible. But if you can get the invitation before you turn 45, then you will not be ineligible for visa. I think that makes sense. So the step goes like this. First, you get your skill assessment, whatever job you all are doing. So you have to get the Australian authority to acknowledge and tell that your education qualification and work experience is eligible to migrate to Australia under that category. Okay, for example, I was assessed as a university lecturer. So first step, what I did is all my education qualification, my work experience documents, my pay slips, my bank accounts, my reference letters, everything I had to send to VETASYS, that is the skill assessment authority for university lecturer. And they checked my experience. So I had, I think, 8 or 8.5 years when I applied, but they gave me a positive assessment for 6 years. They did not consider my 2 years because I was working and I was doing my MTech part-time. So they said, because I'm claiming work experience for those time, I will not be able to consider, because I'm claiming that MTech qualification, I will not be able to claim that work experience during that time. So they gave me assessment for 6. So assessment also is very tricky. So that's the first step. So that's why when you do your skill assessment, make sure you put your best foot forward, because if you go wrong in your assessment, the whole step flops. Okay. So your recommendation letter, addressing your roles and responsibilities, this is where people go wrong. Yesterday, someone reached out on Instagram saying they, got a negative skill assessment because they called. Okay, they call like 1 in 10,000 people, and that person was the lucky one to get that reference phone call. And whatever he had written, the manager had signed. So because, in India, we get anyone to sign any document. So he signed whatever this person wrote and gave. but when he called to confirm the role, they said no, this is not what he was doing, that was not his role. So because they verbally did not confirm his employment, he was given a negative skill assessment. In this case, we can't even re-appeal. Okay, so that's your first step, skill assessment. The second step, after you have your skill assessment, you have two choices: either to ask a state to sponsor your visa, or you can ask your relative to sponsor your visa. There are some categories like which relative can sponsor you. It can't be like in India, you can have your uncle's son's daughter sponsor you. It's not like that. So there are stringent regulations about who you call as an eligible relative to sponsor. Okay, or you have to apply to the state government. So what you can do is you have to submit your expression of interest. So once you submit your expression of interest, what happens is, based on your points that you have scored, based on your occupation, whether it is on the demand list, the states will consider and give you an invitation to apply. So this is what I'm talking about, the age limit. So before the state considers your case to issue an invitation, you should not have turned 45. So imagine you were 44 and 9 months when you got your invitation. Then when you apply for visa, when the case officer takes your file, you would have been 45 completed, but they will not reject your visa at that time because of the age criteria. Okay, but this cat on the wall case is kind of little risky with the COVID situation. So please, whoever asked me that question in private, we will talk further in Instagram. If you have a partner who's eligible to migrate, who can be used as a primary applicant, or we can discuss other options. Okay, so this was like a general thing. I thought if anyone is interested in migration would be benefited. Okay, only one here for me to try. Yes, that's right. So PTE preparation, very good. Go for it. People think it is very hard. It is not. But yeah, it's about, you thinking that that is the only investment you're going to do for yourself and for your family, the next generation. In that case, you can crack. It's just the, the mind block, the limiting belief that we've got. Link to ebook, definitely I'll share you. What about, what is more weight loss? Sorry, I didn't understand that question. Um, Nothing comes for free. Completely, I agree with you, Sashikant. There's nothing free, but that information I was providing to my students who were doing the boot camp. So I was doing a 14-day virtual assistant boot camp, which was interesting, and that was the information that I provided on 14-day different videos. So it is difficult for people to look at 14 or 10 different videos to understand. So it was my effort to consolidate. So there was no asterisk attached to it, but I completely agree with you. Nothing comes for free. Everything is people's time and effort. So Fatima, you want link for the ebook? You can share your email ID with me and I will email you that. And someone else has asked about 491 regional visa invitation round for the past year and for this year. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at one of my videos that I posted last week in Metacare Tribe channel. So that was about the complete immigration invitation rounds, and what was the pattern last year and what was the recent one that they gave in June. So that website will basically give you some ideas to that video will give you an idea how the point system has fluctuated and how now they're accepting even 80 and 85. Initially it was 95. And this year for 491, see, 491 was introduced late last year, and after that, if you look at the invitations that were given, it was all family sponsored, because the states were in a chaos to get rid of the 489 regional category. And then we had COVID, and then they don't have budget allocation now, because this financial year, usually in the 1st of July, the federal government will give budgets to each of the states to give invitations to so many occupations and so many people to sponsor for their particular state. But that has not happened this year. So what they have said is probably by August, or by October is when they will know, because this khajana is gali in Australia. There's absolutely no money, because it's not like India. They're giving 1,000 rupees per ration card. They're giving $1,500 for every individual who has lost job because of the COVID. Okay, because the government has to survive. They have to do something. So here people don't get happy like getting Jayalalitha's grinder and mixie and fans here. So they have to do something real for people to survive. And that's the reason I tell people who are aspiring to migrate, you look at how much this government does. For the people at times of crisis, we pay taxes. So $100, you take home only $70. So literally 30 to 38%, depending on your income slot, but you will happily pay for the lifestyle you get, your children's get, and everything. So watch the pattern, what happens, which are the state which has been affected. Even now, I believe South Australia will again go into a strict restriction, because now we have got one person from Victoria, from Melbourne, who came and who was infected, and like I think 1,000 people are isolated now, which is very severe. Melbourne is completely affected this year with bushfires, and then we had COVID and a lot of terrorism, and how Sydney is being affected with all these things. So all these are little, what would I say, insights for you all to think what will suit. It's not like, in India, we prefer the city, buzzy lifestyle, but obviously it comes to personal preference. But it's good for you now to do your homework and watch what the government is doing, how every state is performing, how every state is, trying to cope up, and how much they're doing. So that is a good, interesting observation at this time. Give some ideas about South Australian job search. Okay. So it's interesting because South Australia is the nation's highest state of unemployment. Okay. So, but when I came, this is the second state that I have lived. I came to Darwin. I got my first full-time permanent job in 5 days. Okay. I was lucky, God's grace. I got it. Not everyone has that thing. I'm not saying here to show off, but I'm just telling there are situations where people get jobs like this. But in South Australia, I've seen so many success stories in spite of the statistics that shows it has got maximum number of unemployment. So again, it comes to your personal efforts and how much you do. So all I did was I did all the homework when I was in India. Okay, I used to go on Seek, use different keywords, whatever studies you are. So I used to choose microbiology, I used to choose biotechnology, I used to do school teacher, university teacher, tutor, anything and everything. Basically, I was doing my random trial and error to find out how many number of occupations came up in Darwin for that occupation. And then I prepared my resume, different resume for different roles. All I wanted was an Australian address and phone number. Okay. So once I reached here on a Sunday afternoon, and 3 o'clock, we got our SIM card, and that's all. I started shooting out for jobs. Okay. So it depends. Like I said, it depends on people, how they pursue it. Similarly, Adelaide, I have people who have come here as a marketing specialist, one of my best friend, and he has got jobs in marketing specialist, I think 3 times. So he was made redundant once, and then his company shut down, and then he managed to get another job. So marketing specialist is something very, very, very crucial for a migrant to get into their first job, but he managed to crack it. So South Australia has a very good community. So there are people who help each other, especially the migrant community, and I'm part of that group, and that group has been very, very helpful in getting people employment. So it's like volunteer service. People who have got jobs, they help people to get jobs. So that is one good thing about South Australia I've seen, which I might have missed in Darwin because of my work schedule and my lifestyle. But it is something, don't go. This is an example that I want to say, the statistics and the web search. might be very different from reality. People think Darwin is bad. Oh my God, NT, people told me it's like Bihar. Don't go there. But I will never say that. So Darwin is a beautiful place, but you can use it as a stepping stone, like how I did. I would love Darwin to be my initial first journey, but for me personally, for my kids and my career preference, I could not stay there forever. But I would not say it's such a bad place that you wouldn't consider moving as a migrant in the first instance. Okay, so again, it comes to personal preference. Okay, I'll share the email ebooks to you all, whoever has sent me your email IDs. Should we come here and apply, or else start from India itself? I think I've answered that question now. So do your homework, do your little bit of background, and all you would need is your local address and phone number, because you never know, the next day they might call you for an interview, they might call you to verify, they might call you for reference, whatever it is. So do your homework, and once you come here, start shooting out your resume. I've got a lot of job search videos in MetaCare Tribe channel. I've got a separate playlist. Make sure to check that out. Drainer kind of a job. I'm not sure whether it's a right spelling or whether I'm not understanding. But when we talk about jobs, don't come with that assumption that you will get a job in the field that you've done, or you will come with the same portfolio that you were in India. I've seen people who have come from national bank managers from India, trying to find a job in a restaurant as a kitchen hand or a dishwasher, and they will not get it. Okay, I've seen a person from Pune. He was a regional manager for Maharashtra or whatever. He was in a very good position, but he could not get even Uber Eats or Uber driver or something. He was struggling so much. So it is always come with an open mind. So that is what I've addressed in all the videos regarding jobs in Australia. Don't think about what job you'll do. I was a university lecturer with a PhD and all that, and I was working in a sports betting call center, gambling people who will abuse you left, right, and center, and very like hardcore stuffs that I've faced, I should say. So that's the reality here. So there is nothing like your dream job. There's nothing like your kind of jobs that you will aim and you will get. But definitely have an open mind and put your best foot. Use that any job opportunity that you get to pay your bills, because it's not like India where we pay every month. Okay, here you have to pay every week. So the clock will be ticking for you to pay your rent, for your internet, your water, your gas, your whatnot, everything. So it is a very expensive thing initially. So we paid the first week from our Indian currency. So we gave so much money and got back this much. Okay, it'll be like heartbreaking, but yeah, that's how we paid our first week from our Indian money. And after that, my husband managed to get his casual job. We were able to pay bills, and then I got my full-time job, and that's how life started. So all of us start small. So we started with a small shared accommodation in a Nepali family house. We started in one room in that house, and then without my kids, I just moved with, me and my husband, we left my 1-year-old son and my 5-year-old son. We came here. 2 months we took to both of us to get job, get a furnished small apartment, and then I came to India for 3 days to bring my son back. So these little sacrifices you do for your family definitely helps, and it'll be rewarded. So don't fear people judging. People judged me. Are you a mom? Are you a good mom leaving a 1-year-old? But I know I'm doing it for my kids, for their future. That 2-month sacrifice helped us to establish our life here better. So don't fear the judgment from people. Any online business or anything you all do, the first thing even I hesitated to post stuffs online was because what will people think? I was completely different. I was a university lecturer. I was working in a call center in Darwin. So what will those people think about me? What happened to her? Suddenly she started all these. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Okay. And that is how you start to grow. When people bitch about you, that means you start growing. You are already above them. You've already one step above them, or even so many steps above them. So don't fear judgments. Whatever people don't say, or just don't say that you're doing anything to anyone. Just process it. After you get your visa, you fly, they will ask you how you moved. That's what happened to me. When I started, they were like, oh, at this age, after 2 kids, you are taking such a big step. I even before I got my visa, I vacated my property, I shifted my stuff, I sold my car, my bike, everything was done even before I got my visa. Thankfully, we got it. Sometimes I used to think what would have happened if I didn't get my visa. All we did were irreversible decisions. I had, rented my property to someone. So everything I did was like big decisions. But yeah, the power of manifestations, your positive vibes, definitely helps. So I think that was a bit of a gyan. Um, yeah. So for the opportunities that you had asked about, transport company manager and stuff like that, I think that's the answer that I could best give. Do not stick your guns to that one occupation. You might land in something much better. Now I'm doing something that I didn't do in universities in India, but I love doing it here. Now I will not, I do not want to go back to teaching. Okay, so it is like that. So you will find something much more interesting because you have so much of flexibility here. At any age you can shift careers. You can turn from an business analyst to a florist selling bouquets, and people would not judge you. Nobody cares what you wear, nobody cares what you dress. So that freedom will give you so much to do. That is the freedom which has given me so much freedom to do and explore. Okay, so don't have that fixed mindset about that one occupation. I'll do this, only this. Yesterday I was speaking to someone who migrated recently, and he I don't want to tell his profession, but it's a very that profession people, and he's doing picking packing jobs in Adelaide. And I was like, my heart was breaking for him, because in India such a profession people would never do this, but here once they understand the reality they do it. So it's better when you come with an open mind. Me and my husband, we had this in our heart. We are not coming here to do social service, we are not coming here to show off. We have come leaving our family and everything just to survive initially. Okay, so that survival is more important than what people think. Okay, 65 points in finance is pretty low, I would say, with the competition now. So use this time to boost your points using whatever strategies you can. The best way is IELTS or PTE, so that because the qualification could take longer to get that points. Your age again matters. So do some NATI CCL, 5 points. I'm doing a video tonight about NATI. So do something. I don't want to give you fake hopes, false promises. 65 points is pretty low compared to the competition and the pool of applications outside. So anything less than 80, 85, I would say no. But machinist and trades, any kind of trades, handyman, these things people won't, in India, such people will not migrate. But trust me, when you see the costly suburbs and very posh suburbs, they all are trade people, plumbers, electricians, all these people who get their hands really dirty, they get paid heaps. So yeah, I was surprised. I was telling my husband to learn some plumbing. I'll just drink some water. After getting visa, we need to apply for jobs and land in Australia. Or yeah, I think I've answered that question. So once you know which state has sponsored, so once you get your state sponsorship invitation, imagine New South Wales has given you invitation. If it's a regional visa, go to Google and type regional visa, regional postcodes or regional areas of New South Wales. Write the names of each and every area, and go to Seek and type that suburb name and see what are the jobs that are available in that area. And that's how you can do a realistic job search. Don't believe whatever people say. People told me Darwin is bad, but I had amazing life and very high pay than what I'm earning here in Darwin. So it all comes to your individual experience. Others' life might not be your life. They might have a super duper lifestyle. You might suffer. They might suffer. I had a friend who is in Adelaide, my school friend. She migrated 8 years back, and she hasn't got the pay that I got in my first job in Darwin. So you can see that difference. So everybody's case is different. So do not compare your life with others. That's what I would say. Um, have I taken PT IELTS? I didn't know PT existed when I wrote in 2015. My efforts, I went to British Council in Chennai near Spencer Plaza. They have like an exam. They do an assessment to check your existing English skills, and they recommend the number of days program that they you have to take. So I was given an option to a 3-day exam training, so know the pattern of the exam. And yeah, at that time when I gave my exam, I was 8 months pregnant, and that was like horrible, sitting in that exam hall for 6 hours or 8 hours. You go and you can't have access to anything. So yeah, so I got 8.5 overall in my IELTS. um okay, mastering all jobs. Yeah, I think I've spoken good enough about jobs now. How much is normal points? Yeah, that's what I've answered. So anything 80 to 85 should be okay, but maybe later this year they could revise. See, like I said, there's no money with the Australian government. So the first thing they're going to do is open student visas. So if any of you are in the age bracket of considering for a student visa, pardon me, you could consider that, because anything has to do with revenue, they are keen. So student visa and migrants are like their income source, because when we move on a 489 or 491, the government is not paying us any benefits like childcare. Even this, I told you that whoever lost jobs in corona, the government is paying only permanent residents and citizens, because they are the government's responsibility. So even though 491 people and 489 people are considered as citizens for tax purposes, actually they are not. Okay, so in that case, you will not get any benefits from the government, but you'll be paying tax as citizens. So that is why they prefer giving student visas and temporary resident visas like 491. So if you are in a situation, if you have the age, and if one partner, you or your husband, can apply for student visa for masters, the dependent can come and work full time without any restriction. Otherwise, when you're coming on student visa, you can work only 20 hours per week, or during breaks, the summer breaks and Christmas breaks and stuff, you can work unlimited when you don't have classes. So consider that option if you desperately want to migrate. Getting invite for offshore with 85 points, 491 visa in 2 weeks, but we are still waiting. It's been 2 months, 95 points. Again, it depends on the occupation. Like I said, if you are more of a trades, probably this is the problem when we compare, because we don't know their portfolio. I don't know your portfolio, so it'll be very generic. And this is how many people comment in under the YouTube videos, for which I cannot give a definite answer. Everybody says, I am 85 points, when will I get invitation? It's so generic, even if you're going to give me like exact information about your occupation, your points, and your the state that you've applied, it's very hard to say, because how under resourced these immigration people are, and what is the process, what is the instruction they've got, nobody knows. In fact, even they don't know. That is on hold now. Offshore applicants are on hold, that much we know. Okay, so they're not processing any visas. So depending on the time they applied, depending on the occupation they applied, states they applied, it is a very different scenario. Everybody knows the invitation pool expiry will happen sometime, but there will be consideration case to case basis because of COVID. Everything is not going to be strict and rigid. Here, they're very flexible, they're very understanding. All you have to do is be honest and upfront and give them like proper explanation, or request them for proper explanation. can just Google British Council in Mumbai. So IELTS is done by two major people like British Council and IDP Australia. People said IDP Australia is easy. I don't know. But now people are saying PTE is easy. But when I did my own bit of research, the difference being PTE does stuffs like, kids. So people enjoy doing it. They feel it's easy because you have to read aloud. You have something on the screen and you have to read. When you're speaking, the speaking task will be everyday task, like your favorite movie or your, whatever might be a very everyday stuff. So that is why people prefer taking PTE compared to IELTS. So I guess it comes to personal preference. So just go to britishcouncil.com and select India, and under different cities you will be able to choose Mumbai or whichever is the closest to where you live. So I think I have answered most of your questions. If you have any questions, you can type. If not, I guess it was more about the immigration than the online job stuff. But whatever it is going to be a long wait for people, because normally from the start of your application to your visa grant, even if you're going with a strict timeline, everything you do proper, in that case it's going to be I would say 12 to 14 months. But because of corona, where there's going to be a delay, it's going to be much longer. So even if you assume 14 months, you are still going to work. You have to still survive. You have to pay for stuff. You have your own commitments. So I would say start off with some kind of a side hustle or some kind of an online stuff that you can do even after coming here. Instead of searching for jobs, going to a restaurant and cafes and searching for jobs, you could have your own online business, which will help you to be your own boss. So you can have an ABN, Australian business number, and register as your business, and you could start your own freelancing business. So use this time wisely, either to strengthen your application or to start a side hustle, or both. If you're smart enough, utilize this time that you've got sitting at home to do all this and strengthen your application, strengthen yourself as an individual, your career prospects, and I'm sure it'll be very, very helpful. After getting visa, we need to apply for jobs and land in Australia? No. There's no need for you to land a job before you land in Australia. Okay? So you will come here and you can find a job. But if you're lucky to find a job, then I'll be so happy for you. But most cases, they would require you to be here. They'll ask you if they want to call you and do a phone interview, or if they want to meet you in person to do a phone interview, or you can request the employer to do a Zoom video interview and select. So that's up to you. But there's no need for you to apply, have a job before you come here. It's not compulsory. So state sponsorship is given by region which have low population. If we accepted, then how much time is required for getting job? So you're confusing two different things. State sponsorship is given by regions, which is true. And in case of Australia, any place other than Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane is considered regional now. Under 491 category, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne metropolitan, except that whole of Australia is regional. Okay, so every state can sponsor you based on your credentials, based on your qualification. Now, if you accept the sponsorship, you apply for your visa. Okay, so once you've got a sponsorship from that state, like I said, you could do your job search on Seek or Indeed based on your state, based on your regional postcodes. So if you take South Australia, or complete South Australia is regional. If you take Western Australia, Perth, everything is regional. If you take NT, whole of NT is regional. There is no need for you to search for postcodes or suburbs. Okay, so you can start your job search. Like I said, you can contact employers, you can do your bit of research, and you can get as much information as you want. And once you come here, you can tell them, I'm here, can I come in for an interview or whatever that is. Okay. So they are two separate things. Accepting a state sponsorship and applying for your visa is one track. The other track is applying for your jobs based on the state that has sponsored your visa. Okay, so I think it was a good 1 hour discussion. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed, and I will do this, Q&A sessions in maybe once a fortnight, and we will see how we go. Okay, so if you're not part of the Telegram group, please ask me for the link on Instagram or anywhere. I can send you the link for Telegram group. Join the Telegram group, because that's where I know I can talk to people about such things, or you can ask me whatever questions you want. Other platforms are more generic. So make sure to join the Telegram group, and we can help each other. If you need one-on-one, a discussion or meeting links to discuss your online business launch or your visa case in particular, then we could go ahead and have further discussions. Okay, it's about time, so please, I would only request that we respect each other's time. Nothing comes for free, like Shashikant said. So every hour after you come here, you know how much your 1 hour is worth. I thank everyone for your time, and I'll see you all sometime soon.